All right, so
I have to give you a little bit of credit for this.
Yeah, we can overdub it later. Just
I haven't had any crazy stories about. Oh wait, no, I do. I got robbed at gunpoint, mugged.
Checking for me, but I ain't checking for them. No.
It's a sleazy real estate, guys. But all right, so ladies and gentlemen, in today's episode, we have the pleasure of sitting down and getting to know a man of many talents. He is a professional kickboxer, 20 times amateur kickboxing champion, owner of Jack's Kickboxing Gym, which is where we currently are recording, and last but not least, author of 4-part anime series, Zeke Faragon. Ladies and gentlemen, please allow me to introduce you to Brima Kamara.
well, actually, Zeke Faragon was never completed. It's more like at least 100-part manga series that
100 part.
Yeah, like we wrote some manuscript for that, John. Never got around to it. Never finished it. Maybe in the future, there's another anime I'm working on, manga, excuse me, that hasn't been released yet. On a different kind of culture, African culture, but
Okay. Well, Brian,
Yeah.
I just want to first and foremost thank you so much for taking the time out of your busy schedule. This is our second time here recording. We really love the gym and love the ambiance of when we record and seeing this all in the background. So thank you so much. I appreciate you doing this.
not a problem. Thank you.
Yeah. And ladies and gentlemen, if you haven't already, please like, comment, subscribe, turn on the notification bell so you don't miss any uploads we have in the future.
Please.
Please, and thank you. All right, so Brian, I want to talk about a few things here. I want to talk about your fighting career. I want to talk about your transition from a fighter to an entrepreneur. And I also want to talk about Jack's Gym. You can tell us about that. I also want to go into politics a little bit about in the combat culture. And lastly, I want to talk about your upcoming fight because you are fighting the first Saturday of February 2024, which is February 3rd, right?
Yes, sir.
And where exactly are you fighting again?
It'll be here in Newark/Bear, Delaware, Route 40 Boys and Girls Club. My goal is to definitely grow the sport of all combat sports here in Delaware, particularly kickboxing, as pretty much 90% of people that compete in Delaware are out of state. We have nationals here. We have a pretty good following that's growing here. We could take it from the Boys and Girls Club to the Chase Center to the Bob Carpenter Center to Dover Downs, perhaps, to make this like the mecca of kickboxing in the United States, God willing, in my opinion.
I love that. Well, yeah, I'm so excited to jump into all those topics. So, Brima, the first thing I want to do is go into your upbringing. Where are you from? Where did you grow up? Would you please allow us to know more about that with you?
There's a lot to that, but first and foremost, I want to thank, I am Muslim, first and foremost, so I want to give glory to God. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for allowing me to be here and do what I'm doing. Shout out to all the, fellow Muslims out there. I want to give a prayer to all my fellow Muslims and people regardless, suffering out there, particularly the Muslims in China and concentration camps, because, that's just controlled genocide right there. You got people getting killed in Gaza. You got Muslims killing other Muslims in Sudan and Yemen. Everybody got this place. So, the first and foremost, again, I want to thank Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala because, I was born here in America. I was born in America. That's one of the biggest blessings. I was born black and I was born Muslim. That's, right there. That's in this day and age, that's kind of the best draw you can kind of pick, as far as not getting canceled, as far as, practicing your amendments and your rights, your freedom of speech, chasing your goals, and just having opportunities other people don't even have throughout the world, even in America. I was blessed to have all of that. Okay. So I was born in Philadelphia.
Okay. Wow. We've had a lot of Philadelphia guests, in the entirety of the podcast. We have West Philadelphia. We've had North Philadelphia. Where in Philadelphia were you from?
Germantown, Philadelphia.
Okay. How was growing up there? How long were you there for?
It was pretty cool. I mean, it's, I guess, more or less the hood, I guess. Growing up, you don't really know. My dad was in the military. I lived in Panama for a little bit. Growing up in Philadelphia, I had a pretty good childhood compared to my neighbors. I understand the conditions that they were in. I remember that kids tell me in school, they're eating cereal with water. I'm like, why are you doing that, bro? It was like, oh, and I'm watching Disney Channel. It's like Boy Meets World, and it's like, oh, this takes place in Philadelphia. I'm like, bro, this looks nothing like Philadelphia. I'm from Philadelphia, bro. I don't see as many white people in Philadelphia where I'm at.
Okay.
And then, but it's different, Than my parents was to school in Roxborough. I also went to this Pan-Africanist private school called Lois Academy, it taught me a lot. You know, established heroes like Malcolm X and Muhammad Ali when I was very young. Again, I went to Islamic school in Philadelphia. I come from an African background. I actually come from family royalty. My family has held the position of royalty in the Timni Kingdom since its inception.
Okay.
And I'm actually in line to be the next Paramount King if I choose to be.
Oh, wow.
That's pretty cool.
Oh, wow. Yeah, that's... Wow. Yeah.
There's a lot. So, you know, again, I'm blessed to be in my position and have the blessings that I have, especially living in America. Because, like, you know, I was in Sierra Leone not that long ago. Like,
yeah.
Living good, but I was still showering over a bucket for like 30 days, no running water, the lights turning off every single day.
I saw that, yeah.
Pretty much, you know, those kind of things, the terrible roads, great food, friendly people, like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's like, and they don't have access to like a gym like this. They don't got access to, you know, like this. Don't got access, like a lot of people already got smartphones, even know what Google is.
So yeah, that's like a lot of things I want to jump into. You briefly brought up going to school in Philadelphia. Just I'd like to unpack like who was Brima in school? Was he part of the cool kids? Was he part of like?
Brima's a nerd and still is.
Okay.
Brima's a nerd and still is. And
what was your favorite subject?
Math, history.
Math, history. Okay.
I was kind of good at language arts as far as grammatical stuff and writing stories.
Okay.
So I definitely did excel in that, and that's probably why I write the manga.
Yeah.
I mean, like, school was not that interesting to me, even though I understood I had good grades. And my main purpose in school to get good grades so that my parents didn't punish me by taking away my video games. That's basically was it.
So you had an incentive, a motivation to get better grades, so they don't take away your games, right?
Pretty much, man. Like, I got to see up or something like that. Definitely, or worse. But, like, you know, I honestly was just always felt very bored at school. I was not. I would definitely had like genetic gifts, but I wasn't interested in most sports.
Yeah.
They were just too boring to me. Like, video games was where it was. And when I found martial arts, particularly kickboxing, it was like a fighting game in real life where I'm just getting the XP, learning new moves, learning new techniques, fighting new bosses all the time, new levels, and it all gets like deeper and deeper and funner.
That's something that I noticed too with you. Is you resonate a lot of, and that's something I want to go into even more depth is your fighting career. But what you do is you resonate a lot to anime and like a lot of shows and cartoons, like stuff like that, right? Why do you do that?
I read a lot of comics growing up, and you might have seen like even the MCU, and like again, my favorite character growing up was like Spider-Man. And sometimes I make references like, you know, even like in the third Captain America movie, he's like, you guys ever see that one old movie Star Wars where they had to like tie the AT walkers?
I personally have not seen any of the Star Wars. So
no, but you probably saw that movie where he said. And then, like, War Machine is like, how old is this kid? You know what I mean?
Oh, okay.
And then, like, he'll make references, like, to do things. And that's kind of how I do. Because, you know, I was really big on science fiction growing up. I love science fiction. That's probably a big reason why I make manga. I love comic books. I love Dragon Ball Z. Those things really inspired me, interested me as a kid.
Yeah.
The thought of Goku just living his life as a fighter, it's like, yo, that's what I am. I'm a fighter. Why do I gotta go to school to be an engineer? That's gay. I'm a fighter. Like, put me on the field. Like, you know, and again, like, as proud as I am to be an American, I didn't want to join the military because, you know, they were fighting against Muslim countries. I didn't quite believe in that. But, like, my dad was in the military here in the United States. My grandfather was a colonel. He was all supposed to be Paramount King in Sierra Leone. And I come from people who were part of the military because my family essentially started a military in Sierra Leone. We have a lot of famous warriors that fought against like the British recently and things like that. So warfare and fighting has always interested me to a degree, even though I don't like bloodshed and heavy violence, but like in a controlled environment, it's one of the most beautiful things you can witness in your life.
Okay, I think I briefly heard you say something at some point about you liking violence. Is it because like control violence or something?
Absolutely.
Like that? Control violence, right?
Absolutely.
Can you unpack what that means?
Well, human beings, like, there's a lot of things we have that separate us from animals, like religion, culture, society, and, you know, there's also, like, for example, the 7 deadly sins, like, you know, wrath, lust, greed, sloth, those things like that, and you learn how to balance those things. And one of the things that can be done through that is fighting. And, you know, a lot of people respect fighting because that's a natural thing, like, to be able to defend yourself. But, like, again, we don't always want to get hurt. Well, we want to live another day, and like again, I'm not here to kill anybody.
Right.
And or like, even in school, I wasn't just trying to punch somebody to prove I'm tough.
Right.
I want to prove my worthiness through merits per se, you know, and in an honorable way as well. And that's what combat sports allows me to do and teach others.
Right. So, and on that note, speaking about your martial arts career, when did that start for you?
I was always in the martial arts as a kid, and I could not quite put my finger on it exactly. But I remember when I was 13, I told my dad, like, I want to be a kickboxer.
Yeah.
I didn't know shit about kickboxing, by the way, nothing. But like, I understood, like, at least I need to be punching and kicking because, you know, boxing is in a way the ultimate sport, sort of, but so is kickboxing. Boxing, it's very high tech, but with kickboxing, you could literally kind of fight two people at one time or more because you have equal arts such as, like, you know, a head kick can be all this. The head kick, the round kick to the face, has scored more knockouts than anything else.
Really? Okay, I did
in
not
history
know that.
by far.
Really?
If I throw a round kick through your face hard, and you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Opposed to a straight right, a left hook, an uppercut, whatever. You know what I mean? Even the flying knee that has scored more knockouts and ended more fights than anything in the history of anything. You know what I mean? So like, for example, let's say like you had like a gladiator back in Roman times. They might have like some gauntlet on their hands. They could fight as gladiators on one-on-one against somebody maybe like a sword or a shield or an axe or whatever. But if it was 2 against 1, you know, you could essentially fight 2 against 1 with kickboxing. Right. You know, but like, okay, if you win, you could win. If you lose, you could say, yeah, but those two people, like, for example, if it's boxing, even one, if two fighters evenly match, and the other person's trash, and they can still gang up and have an advantage over you know what I mean? Because you don't have enough tools to work with to nullify.
What's his name? Some guy that I watch a lot. I like watching his YouTube channel when he breaks down fights. Mighty Mouse. He was in UFC. He's a very high IQ fighter. He always talks about that, how kickboxing, like boxing, like the advantages and disadvantages as you're breaking it down. It's just like it's very interesting. Okay, so you started with kickboxing. I
started with Kung Fu, actually.
With Kung Fu, okay.
Because that's what I saw on TV. I loved the Kung Fu movies growing up. I love learning about the history of Kung Fu and the Chinese culture. I know a lot of different cultures from, like, you know, the Aztecs to the Romans to the, you know, the Vikings, and especially even the African cultures. And my African culture was also like intrigues me the most. But you know, learning like again, I was studying like Hung Gar Kung Fu. I learned the differences between like the Southern Kung Fu styles, like, you know, the tiger, the crane, the snake, the puma, the dragon, the mantis, northern mantis versus like southern mantis, wushu. What does that mean? Like things like that, how they relate to actual practical combat sports. You can basically understand how that goes together. But then I started doing kickboxing. Was a very flashy kicker, and I still kind of am.
I've seen pictures of you doing the axe kick. Is that what it's called?
Yes.
It's like I've seen like you have like this one picture. I think you're wearing white shorts in it. I think that's what it is. That's an awesome picture. Yeah. Okay. What was your favorite kick? I know you mentioned the roundhouse kick.
The axe kick is definitely a signature move. I don't necessarily have a favorite kick. If I have a favorite kick, it has to be the front kick. Okay. The like front kick. There's a picture over there, maybe behind those gloves. Okay. I'm doing it.
Okay.
You know, because it basically beats everything.
Okay, the front kick. Why do you say the front kick?
It outranges everything.
Oh, I see.
It can counter every technique without problem.
So would you say it's like the jab of the legs?
Better than that.
Really? Okay.
Better than that, but it costs more energy.
Okay, I see what I mean. So it's like when you think of like a video game, it's like the stamina goes down even further down in comparison to
like,
just a regular punch.
So if I put that in Street Fighter terms, you have like the actual jab, which has actual applications like as far as touching the opponent. Right. And then you have like the Hadouken, which can also work as like a long range jab. Okay. And the front kick works very much like that. Like where you could spam it to a degree in different speeds at a longer range, but not as close to landing a second punch or strike as just the hand jab can.
I see. Okay. All right. So you started with Kung Fu. And then you went into kickboxing.
So I was 16, 17. I moved down the street, as God would have it. And all praise be to him. You know, 10 years later, I ended up owning the place, and that was a whole crazy thing.
Yeah. So you started at this gym, was it?
Yeah. This is the only combat sports gym I've been a part of and plan to ever be a part of. I'm a Jackson Fire for life.
Wow.
I want my fires to feel the same way I feel about it. Not that they have to, but like, for example, Jack's gym has always been like sufficient for me as far as training against the next level, and I want other people to feel that same way, and I want other people who come up to me in regards to where they kind of go through, because there's many ways you can go down as far as monetizing yourself as a fighter and turn this into your life and career, whether it's just professional fighting, coaching, doing both, doing sponsorships, doing whatever.
Yeah.
Even doing a podcast. There's different ways that we could evolve and take advantage of something that's necessary throughout the entirety of human existence, from here until God takes us all home.
Yeah.
Will be how to defend yourself and use combat.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, that's so true. And one of the things that reminds you of is your entrepreneurial journey, which I want to go into in a little bit as well. But I want to go, so we went from Kung Fu to kickboxing here at 17. And at what point did you take on your first fight ever?
It was like 5 months after joining the gym. So
Really?
It was like
Wow.
2008. I was 16. It was a July.
Yeah.
I started here. Then August 18th, my birthday.
Do fighters typically take on fights that
You can. A lot of people make. If I'm going to speak bluntly, I was to say excuses. You know what I mean? It could be for different reasons. Not everybody has to fight and compete. Not everybody has to have extensive competition experience to even teach somebody else. Like there's that one movie, Catch Me If You Can.
Okay.
Frank Abagnale. You just got to be one chapter ahead of the next person.
True.
And two,
true.
like for example, me, I hate teaching. I effing hate it.
You hate teaching?
I hate teaching.
Okay.
I hate teaching. Like for example, this morning, like I was running a class because I had a phone for one of my instructors, and it was like people were waiting for me to teach them how to stretch. I said, "Yo, here's 9 minutes. Stretch every you need to stretch. I showed you guys how to stretch. I'm here to teach you guys how to fight. I should only teach you how to like hold your hand to stretch like once.
Right.
Like
right.
don't wait for it. Don't wait for me. Like this, you came here to be healthy. Stretching is your responsibility, not my responsibility. I'm here to teach you an awesome fighter.
Yeah.
Not be an awesome stretcher. We're gonna do weights
Right.
sometimes, a medicine ball or plyometrics sometimes, but I'm not a bodybuilder. I'm not a professional cross trainer. I'm a professional athlete, yes. But my main concern is teach how to be awesome as a fighter. Which you're gonna need all that strength and conditioning stuff anyway. But you also like I could be training myself or something, you know what I
Right.
mean? So
Okay.
sorry.
Yeah. No. And I hear what you're talking about because you focus on the art itself, not the stretching art.
Yeah,
right?
it's like look, I'm here to be a fighter. If you're not here to be a fighter, man, and not everybody here is a fighter. We have a lot of casuals here, but it's like I feel like I'm most of the time I'm teaching like if Johnny had 2 apples and Mark had 4 apples. Nah, bro, I'm trying. We're trying to do derivatives on in calculus and physics.
You're trying to go straight to varsity.
Yeah, we're trying.
Right? Yeah,
we're trying to teach people how to levitate. Over here.
All right. So you picked up your first fight less than a year into it.
Yeah, and I had like a month or two where I was like trying to get a fight, but it kept falling through. So it would have probably been 3 months of.
Really? Okay.
But I always tell guys like, look, it's not about winning your first fight. Like a lot of you niggas, am I allowed to speak?
Dude, it's
a lot of you niggas.
That's the beauty of not being in main media. So.
Yeah, you know what I mean. Like y'all not gonna be Jake Paul. Y'all not gonna be Tyson Fury. We're gonna talk about politics a little bit, but like those are outliers. Those are extreme exceptions to the rule where they got a lot of money and they get like in front of a large audience, kind of like social media. You gotta like pay to play.
Yeah.
You gotta pay for that platform, those $1,000. You gotta pay for those $50,000 for like the best personal trainers and dietitians and chefs in the world to be under those circumstances to train. And that's what they can get like on TV, like KSI. It's a whole different ballgame. They're not just lucky. You still got to put in a lot of work.
Right.
Like for all intents and purposes, climbing Mount Everest is a privileged sport.
Yeah.
Like
Why do you say that?
all right, well, like Marquise from South Wilmington ain't gonna be climbing Mount Everest probably anytime soon. With all due respect, he might want to, he might not. He probably don't care. He black. Maybe he must hit the gym. That's cool. Me, I don't care. I don't care if you give me millions of billions. I want to climb Mount Everest. It's cold. I'm African. I hate the cold.
Okay.
But one guy named here, his name was what? What was his name? Judd Ryan, you know what I mean?
Okay.
Dentist, you know what I mean? Business, that kind of stuff. He kind of like,
So he's looking for like an extra,
you know what I mean?
extracurricular activity to do. You know?
And it was so hard. His life was in danger, but or you can go skydive, whatever the thing. That's cool. That's dope.
Right.
But even if I like, if you were to say that you're obese or overweight, whatever the case may be, and I just hand you say, look, you gotta climb out Everest. People like experience of a lifetime. Yes. Are you gonna really do that and camp out there and when it's like negative 40?
Yeah.
Nah, it's different. It still takes a little bit of grit, some girth, some determination to do that kind of stuff. Not just privilege and money.
Okay.
And that's what fighting is. So like who are you if you don't got 10 fights? I don't care who you are. Like what you is planning to do. You from Newark, Delaware, or Wilmington, or Newcastle, or Hockessin, or Philadelphia, or someplace in Maryland. What are you expecting to do with your life as a fighter within 10 fights, bro? if you win 10 straight by knockout in the first round, what are you expected to do with your life?
Okay.
How famous you supposed to? What do you deserve? What kind of fame or wealth do you expect to get? Even like, do you expect to be like national champion, world champion, or whatever the case may be? As with 10 fights, no matter who you are, no. Well, you got to put in the work, have a body of work, champ.
So you're saying think bigger, like bigger
it's
picture.
Consistency. I've been in this game a long time.
Okay.
Like, I mean,
but you started from square one. Right.
Yeah.
So in that first fight, what was that like? What was your mentality then?
I wanted to win.
Okay.
I wanted something cool to do. Like fighting was like right now, all praise be to I'm very happy. Like I got money to eat tomorrow. I got great place to live. I got a great place to work. I got great goals to aim for. I have purpose in my life. I can say that I'm very happy right now just because, like, in fighting, it brought me the most of that throughout my life. Like, just consistently, like, I can look forward to waking up tomorrow and going to sleep at night. That's what fighting does the most. Even, like, if I go hungry for a little bit, I'm happy. I'm losing weight. I'm getting healthier. If I when I eat, I'm happier. When I I did 3 sessions or more in the gym today. I'm doing something that I love.
So you pursued what you loved, which ended up providing even more resources to other things that brought you even more love.
Exactly. So, and I felt, and everybody could follow through this trap. Like, I need more time, or I need to get other things in order. Like, this same time last year, like right before this time, maybe like I was probably the jury moment I ever have like in my life, and then it exploded like crazy in the story, like everything. Like speaking of entrepreneurship, like, I did a lot. I sold video games online, clothes online, rent cars, stocks, that kind of stuff. Of course, I teach the gym. I was also investing in I just a lot of stuff that I do, and
like I said, a man of many talents.
Yeah, the combo would be another thing that was had to put on hold, but like everything was getting in the way. Like it was a mess. Yeah, but I also appreciate it because like things. Fast forward a year later, like things are very much the opposite. Yeah. And it's because I just say, look, man, everything goes to burn to the ground. If I die today, tomorrow, whatever, I want to die fighting, being the warrior that I believe I'm meant to be. Okay. So so from your first fight to your last fight, walk us through your fighting journey. What was that like? Your highlights, takeaways from them. My first fight to my last fight. I have about 70 fights or something like that, dude.
Okay.
So it's hard to
70 fights. Wow.
Condense it into one epic.
Your journey. Like, so tell me your journey there. Like, what was that like? Your most favorite fight of all of them? What was the fight that like
one fight? Yeah. It was like okay, like it's not hard to say like one fight because like for example, I can give you I think a very accurate analogy here. Let's say like, have you seen the Rocky movies or Creed movies? Yeah. Which movie is out of those your favorite?
Well, I definitely enjoy. I haven't seen all the Creed movies. I've seen only one of them, I believe. The Rocky movies, I would say. So Jax is the first one.
The first Rocky movie.
Yeah.
Now, which one is your favorite fight out of the Rocky series?
Is it what would it be against? Was it Drago?
Rocky or Creed?
What was it? The Rocky?
Drago?
Yeah, against Drago.
You see what I mean?
Avenging his friend.
So like your favorite fight, and that might be your best story.
Okay.
You said Rocky, the first movie was probably your favorite story, but not the best fight. And, and choreograph-wise, either Grand Theft Auto 70s, whatever time it was, it would be the most dumbest thing to watch with an educated fighting mind. Like, who would have thought that was like acceptable to put on in a movie? But you can watch the new Creed movies and it'd be like a little bit more entertaining to watch. Or even that Drago fight, even though we had 3 Rocky movies with 3 fights, that Drago fight was better because of like the conditions around it or how it was choreographed. So like
the story,
it's not always one and the same.
Okay.
To give an example, my first time I fought at Madison Square Garden, I was delivering pizzas. I get a call, and I just went to the doctors that morning. I had bronchitis, and they said like we need somebody to fight. Okay. And I'm watching people like in the United States like get on that car. I'm like, why not me? Man, I'm better than all these trash ass fighters.
Yeah.
But whatever.
So you fought in Madison Square Garden.
I did twice.
Twice. Okay. Yeah. So tell us about that because Madison Square Garden is one of the stages that some people dream of being on.
Yeah. But I mean, even that wasn't as like cool as I thought it was going to be. It was still pretty cool though.
I was gonna say, don't play it down. It's
no. I'm gonna tell you why. Because like we find a Hulu theater, the same thing you see on TV, and that place is like really small. Like the place I'm finding it here in Delaware just says hold this many people. Yeah.
Okay.
But perception is key. Like for example, we're talking about like you being on HBO or whatever.
Yeah.
And I was like, dude, you could be the next thing because like they just have the platform. That's what it is. But like we're not fighting where like the Knicks playing in the Massacre Ground. We're fighting in the Hulu Theater where Sugar Ray Robinson, Roy Jones, all them fought.
Okay.
You know what I mean? So it's everybody good there, but the tickets are probably expensive.
Right.
You know, elite.
So it's
audience.
like the brand behind it. It's really the premium factor of it.
Yeah. So I'm going there, and there's this like part of like every Rocky movie where they like kind of go to the hotel before the fight.
Yeah.
They overlook the stadium. It's like I kind of had that whole feeling like I'm supposed to be like just delivering pizzas this week and be like, now I'm here. Like look at God. I don't care.
Delivering punches.
Like, you know, I was just so like. It's kind of how I feel right now. Like I was so in the moment happy before I got inside the ring that like I kind of didn't know what to do with myself, but just and it made the food that night taste better.
Yeah,
I was playing like The Legend of Zelda: Breath of the Wild on my Switch, like just chilling in the hotel, the Philadelphia hotel, which is like a freaking creep show.
Oh my god.
And I'm having this soaking it in, man. Just trying to soak it in. Like I don't want it to be over.
Yeah.
Like I want the fight to show up, but I don't want it to be over too quick because it's like
so the
I gotta go back to like reality.
Yeah.
You know, so like me and my coach, we drove up. I drove my coach up. You know what I mean? I had to drive because like I was driving a stick and he can't even drive stick. So like we had to drive back.
Okay.
You know, so we right after the fight was over, we drove back.
Okay.
And that was that. You know what I mean? So
wow. Okay, so that was one of your highlights of your career. Would you say that's like the one that immediately comes to mind, or do you have another one?
This has been a legendary camp for lots of different reasons.
Okay,
I'm doing, I think, a lot of cool things for this fight, and I'm having a really good time training.
Okay,
with for this fight, especially with my students.
Okay. So we'll go into that a little bit because I kind of want to close out with that.
Okay.
So you talked Master Circle Art and you started with Kung Fu and then went into kickboxing.
Yeah, there's a lot of that, man. I traveled to Italy.
So where have you fought? Has it? So you said New York and Master Square Garden, Philly. Where else?
Florida.
Florida. Okay. Where's your favorite place to fight?
A ring's a ring, but I'm trying to make it Delaware, I guess.
Okay. Why Delaware?
I live here.
Right. Okay. Do you want to bring more?
All right, bring people here. And have a better stadium.
Okay.
Like, why would I want to travel to New York to fight or Vegas to fight when we can like kind of bring the mecca of kickboxing here? Like everybody from Philadelphia, New Jersey.
Okay.
Did I say Maryland already?
Yeah.
All right. So, Pennsylvania. And people in Delaware can travel here to Delaware in the epicenter. We do that anyway for the national. They bring pretty much every national tournament that's not boxing here in Delaware. Like here right now for the most part.
Okay.
And people travel from God knows where.
Yeah.
Here. Yeah. And like we have very little Delaware fighters like defending the fort.
Okay.
When I was an amateur, we didn't have all that here.
So you're trying to strengthen the fort. That's what you're doing.
Yeah. Like I was, for the promotion I'm fighting for, I was like the most dominant champion easy. You know, I was the first champion, as a matter of fact.
Really?
I'm to this day, I'm sure I have to have like the most championships won under that promotion. For sure.
Okay.
Like, you know what I mean? It's not like.
What promotion is that?
Gut Check Championship.
Okay,
so like, I've kind of been very inactive for the last 5 years. Only fought once in the last 5 years. I've become very domesticated as an individual. And I'm trying to change that before I die. Because,
I see. So you've strengthened you're working on strengthening for your camp. You're shaping up your tools, but it's not all you do, right? You eventually switch into more like a business person, right?
I hated that. I'm not really a business person. I mean, like, and I love the old owner here, Jack. You know, we're close, but he was.
How did that happen?
He wanted to retire. Jack Jim is very special to me. I feel sometimes more at home here than I do at home.
So you're at home, but how did that happen with Jack? Like, where did the transition of ownership happen?
He wanted me to. He was talking about for years about me taking it over. I was like kind of going back and forth. I'm like, yo, Jack, don't retire. He was like 65 at the time. He loves teaching, or he loves coaching. Like he might hate his job and curse people out and yell, but like he'll come to the gym like right now. If you say he came to the gym today, like right now, he'll like go. And we're working, like, try to give him pointers.
Oh,
no matter
really?
what they're doing. They've been doing everything perfect. But he has to give, like, his 2 cents about everything. Like somebody cares.
Yeah.
Me, if you're not, like, shit in the bed, I'm like, just get out of my face, bro. Like, well, I could train something. Like, you know what I mean? So, but he's a coach at heart. I'm not. You know, I just figure, okay, let's get some internet in this place. Let's take electronic payments because he wasn't doing that before.
Oh, okay.
Some common sense things. Don't curse out the clients. Things like that.
So you
It'll work
modernize
itself out. But then there was a whole lot more stuff. I mean, like, you know, the pandemic happened. You know, you got to clean up the gym. You got to hire other instructors. You got to do all this other stuff. You got to figure out how to become incorporated as a business. Things that weren't necessarily taught to me. So I figured it out. I learned how to fly the plane and fix the plane while fixing it, whatever.
Yeah. Okay. So, and when did you officially become the owner?
It was June of 2018.
18? Okay. So you've been the owner for a while now.
Yeah, when I was 26, turning 27. Kind of like how I started kickboxing as an amateur.
Okay.
And
stove right in.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I started like in the negative, pretty much like this in the summer, which historically suck. For
really?
Most,
I would expect that
because
the
people want
summers
to
are
go
more
to the
busy.
beach or find every excuse like not to train for the most part. And
oh, right, because people are like,
it was kind of a good place to start because I had to learn how to grow a business. And then I went from like this basically making more money than I know how to spend for a while. Then by the time I fought that September.
Okay.
And I thank God for that. So I've been major up, I've been major down.
Okay.
And
what other endeavors have you also dove into?
God, I don't know.
Okay, so I
was
know
a yoga studio before.
A yoga studio, really?
Yeah.
How did you end up in there?
Just bored.
Really? Where do you even buy a yoga studio? Like, where do you like? I don't
online. You can buy one online.
You just go to buy a yoga studio.
You can buy America if you're smart enough.
Okay.
You can really get into that.
How do you look into that? Just buying a random
Google it, bro. There's a lot of things, like,
really? Okay, that easy.
Like, you ask me like, yo, just Google, but like, yeah, you can go like, it probably has a couple websites or listings. Like, you can literally buy. People like buy and sell their business all the time, like they do on the stock market. But like, and you can like get certain business for yourself. Maybe like the owner wants to retire, just wants to cash out, or wants to whatever.
Right.
And then, like, for example, I was experimenting with a lot of different things here at the gym. One of the things was yoga. Okay. And, I hired an instructor who gave me, like, a rundown. And I was like, yo, people pay, like, $160 a week for yoga? What?
That is a lot. $160?
Pretty much. Something like that, right? It was, like, for a workshop. And I'm like, yoga's like, I never did yoga in my life, right? So I'm watching people pay for that. I'm like... But the thing is, it's like, it's tranquil, it's quiet, it's peaceful.
Yeah.
And when people train kickboxing, it's noisy and a little whatever. And I didn't want to take that away from the fighters because that's what I am.
Okay.
So then, after a while, when I came up, because like, look, again, so let's say like that's 2018, that summer, fall, like, okay, I was doing financially good. By the winter, I went completely broke. 30 days later, I'm rich again. Like,
that's crazy. What being an entrepreneur is like.
Yeah. Or whatever. And then I didn't know. So I bought two businesses. Basically, one called Matter Holding Group, which I use now to sell clothes and do a bunch of other things.
Okay.
Like video, whatever. And then also at the same time.
And what's the website of that for people to look at?
Link MHG, and we're currently updating because a lot of things. But yeah, it's gonna have like some cool. Like, you want to buy stuff like this?
Oh, really?
This
okay.
You're gonna get on that website. Yeah. This even like my sweatsuits. This is my homie sweatsuit. Like, this is again an example of how I was saying, like, you put yourself on. I want to wear like only my own clothes from now on, like essentially. So
we talk, why wear other people's clothes when you can wear your own?
Yeah, like I want to wear exactly what I want to wear, how I want to wear it.
Right.
That's me.
Okay, so you dove into now the gym, the yoga studio.
I even finished that story, but
yeah. So the yoga studio, you did the clothing. So what happened with the yoga studio?
A lot of things happened. When the pandemic happened, I don't give a crap about yoga, really. And then, like, I own that joint, like, free and clear, too. I had, like, a decision, like, and I appreciate my employees there, the staff, that stuck by me. And I'm like, I really don't want to start calling people and sell them yoga. Like, and it was, like, the best thing ever, bro. Like, I had, like, wonderful staff. Again, I was, like, the first black business owner in Hockessin.
Yeah.
Especially under 30.
And it was in Hockessin?
Yeah.
My man. That's a good spot.
And you know what I mean? I had, like, amazing staff, amazing clients. There were clients that would show up there and be like, you just say, give me your card. $1,000 on for, like, the year. Like, easy money, bro. Like, great.
Love that.
Women cartel, like, in shape.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I would, like, pop up, like, every 2 weeks or so, like, once a day just to hand out checks and bounce. Like, you know what I mean?
So tell me, and on that point, reminding me, I saw this one post of you on Instagram. You're like all in the suits. You got the blue Porsche right behind you. You're posed up. I imagine right outside the studio.
Yeah, that was it.
And you were talking about, transitioning into an entrepreneur, how that changed your mindset towards things. So you want to tell us more a little bit about that? Because I imagine you could apply a lot of things as an entrepreneur. I'm from a fighter into an entrepreneur. But what does exactly?
So entrepreneurs like this, how I view it, and I hope you guys can understand. It's like, well, one, like throughout your life, you might go through different career changes and different decisions, and like, well, being an entrepreneur to me, it allowed me to like experiment with different careers, choices I would like to do, and ways I like to earn money if I wasn't a fighter. Because like again, I got good grades in school. I went to college to get a 2-year degree for 5 years, civil engineering, because my dad was a civil engineer. But I never wanted to be a civil engineer. Like I knew that, but like my parents was like, you got to do this kind of thing.
Yeah.
Like but I knew it was like, I don't got to do this, yo. And I'm saying we need civil engineers to build roads, drainage system, all that. We need people to do that. But it was like, that's not what I really want to do. Like one of my friends who was a YouTuber, Shofu, it was like back in 2014. We were hanging out and going to tournaments for like a while. I didn't even really know what he did. I think it was pop in the video games community. And we were going back one day, and my friend Hart asked Shofu, was like, how much you made off of YouTube last year? It was like 2014 or 15, something like that. He said, I made like $80,000 off of YouTube last year.
In 2014?
Yeah, he said, just making Pokemon videos whenever you want. And I said, yeah. I was like, yo, bro, I love Pokemon, dude. I talk about Pokemon all day. Like,
yeah. You mean I can get paid to talk about what I love?
Yeah, I could get paid to, you know what I mean? It wasn't the money. It was just like, I'd rather spend my time doing something like max out. Like people say something, this phrase I think is really backwards.
Okay.
It goes something like, work at what you love, you never have to work again. I said, no, find out something you want to max out every day for. Like, you know, today with my students, Caesar, you know, he dusted me. We ran like 5 miles though. We ran 6 miles yesterday. And he trained in the morning. We went running. And I'm a much better fighter than he is, but like, he's been working for so long, this consistently, when I'm just not getting back in shape. Yeah, you know, it's something he can push himself in every day. Right. To live every day. That's why fighting is amazing, because like a lot of people, like honestly, human beings, we're afraid to fight because if you're smart enough, you know there's a lot of danger to this. You can get hurt. Yeah. You can get hurt doing this. So like, you know, people ask like, you know, are you nervous? This, that, other thing. It's like, because like, if you can imagine back in the days, like the Roman Coliseum, they'll put you in this dungeon. Right. And you be out there getting your head chopped off when you get out there, and people be cheering about it. The same kind of deal here.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. And I've even seen like now there's videos of AIs where people are like in a modern day boxing ring, and they use AI and they'll reflect it with like back those days.
Same thing, but like you know the gladiators. What people don't understand, it's a lot of history to that. A lot of history to that, but like a lot of people don't know that like most gladiatorial fights, only 10% of them actually ended in death. Only 10% of them.
Really? Okay.
Yes. The reason why is because usually it would take another like very skilled champion or fighter to kill another one. Okay. And two, like the gladiators, like they would train in these harsh schools, right? They'll see people die, get injured, or slaves and trying to fight for their freedom, or people who are in debt trying to fight for their freedom, whatever. Same shit today. Yeah. Right? We get these contracts, we're trying to come out the hood, or people fighting from out the land country from poverty, whatever. Right? And the fighters, the experienced fighters would normally like just beat up the one fighter and like let him have mercy, because like he was like, say, look, you might get a chance to earn your freedom one day. You might be able to earn money to get out of this one day or change your life. Yeah. So they will spare their life. And the emperor would like give them the thumb, but spare their lives. Yeah. You know what I mean? If they put up a good fight and show like some heart and not with being a punk. And or sometimes like the people who surrender, they be like, yo, just take me, bro. Like I don't want to live like this no more. And they just got, but only it happened 10% of the time. But usually when somebody died, it was some random who just started a fight, either like killed like a existing champion or got lucky with like a swing of the sword or an axe or something.
So you essentially view fighting and entrepreneurship essentially the same, right?
To a degree, yes, because that's how I've been conditioned to, you know, I've been down a lot of rounds, but you get like, as long as you're not KO'd out the fight, you always find your way back in into the fight.
Because like you said, you had the 1 month where you just went broke, but then you came back and then you have more money to do it with. Same thing like when you get knocked down, you know, and then you come back up and then somehow turn it around.
I mean, I didn't know what to do, so like that's part of me, like I got to do something now, because like it was kind of weird just like looking at your bank account, just like kind of just watching that money be there.
What's that feeling like?
Boredom. Yeah. So like I just got divorced around that same time. It was a crazy period of my life. You know, I'm used to like just going to the gym, playing video games, going home, and you know, obviously enjoying the married life. That was kind of existence. So I'm just sitting around with needing something to do. Like, okay, like I'm in between fights. The gym's doing well at the time, and it's like, so you kind of feel like you got to do something.
Yeah, yeah. And that's something that what I'm also interested in knowing is about the anime series. How did that go into like? How did you end up doing that?
No, me and my brother were doing comic books when we were kids, young kids.
Okay.
Young kids. Like, I mean, we were heavily inspired by, like, you know, the Dragon Ball Z's, whatever shows. I mean, we were 8 years old, like, drawing comic books in the living room, developing stories and characters. Yeah. And Zeke Firecon was actually the first, like, official character that I made when I was, like, probably, you know, 9, 10 years old.
Okay.
Yeah, legitimately. Like, that same character is the same character I came up with, like, at, like, that young age, at least by, like, 9 or 10.
And when did you approach your brother to ask and tell him, all right, let's make this a thing? Like, let's just put it into the market.
We did it several times over. We did it, like, again, when we were, like, 15 years old. Like, summer break with the spend time. Just, like, my brother's a much better artist than I am. I'm a much better coherent writer than he is. So we say, look, I'll focus on making a coherent story. You just make the action happen. You know what I mean? We'll just kind of go back and forth on that. Okay. People would come with some outrageous ideas, like, and it would look kind of good on paper, but, like, story-wise, it'll make just no sense to go nowhere. Like, it'll just be like some acid trip idea. And then, and I'm, like, trying to build, like, an overarching, like, you know, captivating story that pulls you from, like, point A to point B to C to Z. Which I do appreciate the spectacle as well, because that's what we're here for. I like watching fancy pictures, but it was like, we can't do that because it's no logic to it, bro. And like, and you can easily dissect that if you know about reading comic books or watching fiction. Yeah. And so we did that, and then, like, during the pandemic recently, it was like we had nothing to do, we were bored, so it was like, yo, let's do that comic book again, bro. Yeah. And we started making fans.
When did it officially go live?
We started like during the Ramadan of like 2020, whatever time that was. I can't remember. So it was like probably May or whatever. And like on his birthday, we actually launched it, which was like June 27th, the first issue. Okay. We launched the first issue on the June 27th, and we were working on it for like maybe 2 months. Okay. Reconstructing the first issue, like, you know, coloring it, make it digital, that kind of stuff. Learn how to sell it on Amazon. I saw the illustrations,
man. They look amazing.
Yeah. Learn how to sell it online and distribute it. Wondering whether or not are we gonna need a publisher, like literally learning how to fly the plane while fixing it, kind of thing.
I was saying, so you guys just figured it all
basically
along
the like we want to do it, and it was fun. Yeah. Cause you know we were still adults at the time, and like just connected with my brother like we did like when we were kids. It was very nostalgic, and it was fun, and it was amazing. So even though like we didn't maximize the potential on sales on that thing, we still can in the future. But like, there's a lot of things in life. I mean, a lot of things in life that's worth more than money. Being able to do that project with my brother is a memory I'm always gonna be able to cherish. Yeah. Without the financial goals, and those are the kind of things you gotta kind of do. It's like when there's a video game that you like and you like to beat, you can like complete that game, just feel proud about it. Kind of like, and maybe that might be getting straight A's in school for you. Maybe that might be developing some form of fashion. Maybe that might be being the best. Physician tech at your job. Taking pride in what you do, and like we took pride in that. Right. And that's what mattered. Kind of like how we want to take pride in the gym.
I was just gonna say you carry that pride over to everything you do.
Yeah, and those are the things that that make life worthwhile.
Okay. Wow. So we uncovered you acquiring Jack's gym. We talked about the yoga studio. Yeah. We talked about the series. Yeah, how many are? So there's 4 out right now, right?
There's 4 issues out, yeah.
And they could get it on Amazon, right?
They can get it on Amazon right now. We probably got a 5th one like almost done and never released, maybe. Okay. Maybe. I know my brother at least started it.
TBD.
I mean, we could go back, but honestly, I feel like a much better idea than the work. I don't want to talk about it just because I don't want somebody else to do it before I do it because it's never been done before.
Oh, okay.
But I kind of want to talk about it.
We could talk about
it based off like West African warriors, but like people don't know shit about that.
Okay. That'd be cool. Yeah, I never heard of anything.
Like people like kind of know what a ninja is, kind of, or a samurai is.
Yeah. But like, no, I never heard of that. No.
People don't know that most samurais couldn't actually fight. People don't know that most samurais didn't even use swords; they use bows and arrows. You know, things like that. Like, but like it's very like even like kung fu itself has been heavily embellished to make it seem like it was effective on the movie industry engine, but it's really not. Like it's. I wouldn't say useless, but you know, with just a little bit of boxing, you will easily overthrow like a kung fu master.
Okay, I see.
Like you can look up on YouTube right now, watching like get embarrassed. Like
oh yeah, because I've seen those videos. Are you referring to the ones where like someone labels himself like Kung Fu masters, but then like get exposed or something like that?
Pretty much. There's never been a successful one to prove it works.
Yeah, that's one of the things I want to talk about too, because I know that's something that has been going around for years about different dojos or gyms, and they either are they actually a gym to be the gym for the art, or they're just doing it for the business aspect of it. You know,
I want to be a gym for the art. Like that's one of the things. Like why I hate the idea of franchising.
Yeah. So I guess that's a good way to transition into the politics of it, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so let's do that.
Maybe.
So we can start there. So one of the things that I noticed, you know, I've seen different gyms where, I'm from Ecuador, right?
Yeah.
I was born in Ecuador. I came to the country when I was 8 years old, right? And my buddy, I lived in Queens for a while. I've lived in Queens, New York for a few years. And I went to this one very small gym, almost like Gold's Gym kind of vibe. Everybody's, you know, it's stingers and stuff like that, going crazy.
Yeah.
One of the people that went owned a, God, and I hope this doesn't come around and bite me in the ass, but
You're getting raw and uncut, right?
but what's it called? You know, around the street, they had a, a Taekwondo gym, right? They had a Taekwondo gym. And at that time, I did a little bit of kickboxing back in Ecuador. And when I went into the Taekwondo gym, we were doing like mini sparring sessions across the mat. Everybody like paired up with somebody and just kind of went at each other. And I remember going up against one of the black belts, right? And you know, from the little experience I had and going up against them, mind you, it was just sparring. But you know, that could vary with a person. If it didn't feel like they were a black belt. And I remember at the time,
black belts don't mean shit.
Yeah. So so tell me
These
about
belts
that.
at least have something.
True.
You have to be somebody for it.
True. So and if, for you guys to see on the camera,
Here's the
belts
thing.
all over.
It's possible to get a black belt in karate, taekwondo, kung fu, and never get in a fight. So what does it mean? Does it mean that you probably could do some forms at best?
Yeah.
It doesn't even mean that you're in shape.
Okay.
It doesn't even probably mean you can run 2 miles.
Okay.
If you have one of these belts, I could assume that you could at least, you know, run 5 miles.
Yeah.
Or, you know, and use some technique or do something. Land a stiff right cross, something.
Right, because I guess the way gyms do the way gyms do their way of doing things is different, varies from every gym.
Yeah,
right?
At least with a jiu-jitsu school, Brazilian jiu-jitsu school, it's like, even if you haven't competed, like, to get to a black belt, at least you have done submission after submission on a live target.
Right.
To justify your black belt to something, you know,
I see.
In that vein. But taekwondo, there is no structure for that. It's just like a McDonald's system to like basically charge people money. Just sad to say.
Okay, so do you think that a lot of the dojos or gyms today, they're focusing more on the transaction part of it, the business aspect of it?
Well, yeah, because like, we're Americans, we got to eat. But two, I'm not hating on because look, going to those gyms and learning something is much better than staying home watching TV and watching somebody else live their life.
That is very
and
true.
I'm not saying like I'm holding it out like, okay, look, I use Instagram, I use social media, you feel me? But I'm saying like, but I want to encourage people to actually get off the couch and do something. Like you don't got to be working out 24 hours a day. You don't got to be at your job earning money 24 hours a day. You don't got to be at the mosque or the church praying 24 hours a day. It's the balance, right?
Yeah.
Human beings have the human experience, but like you shouldn't just not have ambition. Like get out the house and do something. Like live your life, bro. Like
Have some
even if you're an
purpose.
atheist, right? Even if you're an atheist, bro, like do something. Don't not sit home, eat chips, get fat, change your gender or something because you don't got no purpose in your life. You know what I mean?
I can't imagine anyone in America just sitting around, just eating chips, getting fat.
Well, you'd be surprised
I could
at
never
the,
imagine that. What?
I mean, I had
what do they call
chips
it?
in that-
Couch potatoes? Is that what they call them?
Yeah.
No, but
Eating potato chips.
and here's the other question I want to ask you in relation to that. You know, martial arts, what it was back in like the Bruce Lee times, is a whole lot different than it is now in terms of effectiveness in like a real world scenario, right? So where do you think those old arts stand in today's world?
Obsolete. They're obsolete completely. Mostly obsolete. Even Bruce Lee like saw boxing and figured like, yo, this is pointless. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's all pointless. But like, I mean, it looks good on TV.
It does.
It looks good on TV, and we appreciate it. Like, it was a step in the right direction. And we have this, you know, attractive to like hand-to-hand comic. We understand.
Yeah.
Like, there's a certain amount of respect knowing how to fight that, you know, can help you skip the line faster than having a lot of money, than being handsome, than even being tall.
Yeah.
Or whatever. Just
Sure.
okay, like at the end of the day, say like, okay, like these lights turn off. Right? There's electricity turn off. people started acting wild. And we had to all, like, gather our teams to survive. Okay, The Walking Dead is about to happen.
Yeah.
Who are you going to pick to be on your team? The accountant, the football player,
or the fighter.
or the I was going to give you a whole bunch of, or the fighter. This guy, he's on the team. We need him. We don't want to go up against
It's like
this
the
guy.
last they get
Until we get like a gunman.
Right. Okay.
Okay, but let's say no guns. Let's say no guns. All weapons are out. All right. God just made them all disappear the next day.
Right.
Okay. It's all we can do is use hand-to-hand combat.
That is very true.
And we got to win by attrition in groups. But either way, if you had to pick, okay, you started from one guy, and you got to pick somebody on your team out of 5. That names the accountant.
Yeah.
Whatever it is. Okay, I like kickboxing first. Let's just not.
Yeah.
Let's not gang up on the kickboxer at first and find out the hard way.
True. We'll work our way up. We'll unlock him. We'll unlock him at some point.
Get him early. Let's get another kickboxer. Let's get as many fighters to start.
Yeah. Okay.
And then hunters and gatherers. You know what I mean?
Yeah. No, I hear you. So, and what a lot of and to that point, you're saying there a lot of the martial arts today are obsolete and just look good on camera. You know, a lot of parents, what they do is, they want their kids to be able to defend themselves, right?
They don't know any better. They're not martial arts experts. How do they?
Yeah, so that's why I want to ask you, for the parents or anyone that's looking to get into martial arts, if they had to pick 1 or 2 martial arts to start today.
Kickboxing is the ultimate sport you want to pick regardless of who you are.
Okay.
Who is the ultimate?
But why kickboxing? Why not boxing? Why not?
Because as a kickboxer, you have the highest probability of success in a striking field versus any other discipline. Boxers are definitely the most high tech as far as performance goes, but like it won't be too hard as a kickboxer to at least box.
Okay.
That means with no feet on even kill with a boxer. And you have a high probability of still even winning. Kickboxers have always defined MMA and will always define MMA at the highest level because that's the most important and best thing about MMA is the kickboxing. From Anderson Silva to Izzy to Alex Pereira, now
they all come back from that background.
Even Conor McGregor, like the striking aspect of mixed martial art is the best and most entertaining. It's what if it just became a completely grappling sport, it would die out. Even though grappling does nullify pretty much everything, including boxing, nobody wants to really gonna pay pay-per-view to see somebody grapple the entire time.
True.
And not what they really want.
True.
They want to see some of that stuff you see on the Jackie Chan movies a little bit, which is what? The kickboxing.
Yeah.
So I'm saying if you had to pick one sport to get your kid in, to be awesome, to look awesome, to feel to check all the boxes, it would be kickboxing.
Kickboxing. Okay. So there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. Kickboxing, if you have to pick one for your kids or for yourself, you want to start up. So, okay. So the dojos, they're in it for the money. You said they got to eat.
I mean, they're there to help the community too. They have discipline, they have structure. I'm not trying to crap on them to that heavy degree because there's ranges for everybody.
Right.
There's aerobics kickboxing and for example, and they used to have a lot of women. The women aren't there to learn how to fight like a champion, get these belts. They're here. They're there to get a good workout, look good, and I did an aerobic place. I went to Goju Aerobics. Man, it had such an intense workout there. And they were moving, moving, and it was a great workout. It's not practical for fighting, but it's practical for getting in shape, and it works.
I see.
And it's not you don't have getting in shape and learn how to fight are two different things.
Okay.
I was saying we use weights here, we do exercises here, we do plyometric, we do cross train, we do CrossFit, whatever.
You heard it, Jack's Gym.
My goal here is to teach you how to be awesome as a fighter. What makes you a better fighter, a faster fighter, a more slick fighter, a more fancy fighter than the next person.
Okay.
That's where we're at. That's where I'm at with it.
Okay. I see what you mean. Okay. So moving on from that, from the dojos and their rankings and money and, picking the martial art to start at, let's go into, as you mentioned earlier, the whole... what do you call it? The YouTubers going into boxing and all that stuff. Jake Paul's of the world and all that stuff. What do you think that's doing for the sport?
Did I talk about climbing Mount Everest yet here?
Yeah, you
said. Okay. I mean, it's bringing exposure. What I'm doing right now to get on this podcast, that's bringing exposure. It's a shame that they had to reach out to me and I didn't reach out to them because, what people sometimes forget is that, part of building your brand is reaching out and putting yourself on, doing those podcasts, marketing yourself, showing up. When the president runs for election, they might go to some charities don't give a shit about just to grab an audience. You know what I mean? And it's kind of the same thing here. Of course, like I'm glad to be here, you know. But a lot of people, you know, let's say is he here? No, DJ left. I'll about throw him under the bus. All right. But all right. Let's say DJ. DJ did a episode with you guys.
Yeah. So DJ said an episode with us. Yes.
But at the same time, DJ has less than 10 fights.
Okay.
So. You know what I mean? Like,
okay.
I mean, it's still good practice. It's still a good experience from them to learn to do interviews and be media trained to a degree. But at the same time, like, that interview is not going to matter anytime soon until DJ crosses that threshold of being an accomplished fighter.
Okay.
Then he can go back and say, oh, I did a podcast with EP.
Yeah.
And then EP can say, oh, we did a podcast with DJ. We only have 5 fights. And now he's a professional champion. So look how times have changed. So like, but like again, it matters, but it's not going to really matter to DJ himself becomes at that level of fighter.
Where do you draw that threshold? Where does one
you can't
cross
always
that threshold?
you can't always draw that threshold at a number of fights, but there is. That's why we have belts.
Okay.
So like, let's say like, okay, if I have 50 fights, but you're not a champion, well, you're not a champion.
Okay.
And then you have like 15 fights, but now you're a champion. So like, we have measuring sticks and different promotions with belts that have certain weights. Like, okay, a regional championship, a state championship, a national championship, a world championship, intercontinental, you know, things like that.
Okay.
So then you can kind of weigh yourself, and you can't just measure it all in this. It's quality over quantity at a certain degree.
Okay.
But like, what I'm trying to say is, like, for example, if you were to go, give a great analogy. Let's say you're in high school, right? And you only play 10 football games or 10 basketball games. Why does your ass deserve to be in the NBA? You don't. So it's like that. Like, so what are you expecting to do with 10 fights, bro? So, and I say that to say, like, you know, it's going to be really hard. Like, unless you, now, if Jake Paul were to go play any sport other than boxing, you know, boxing is hard to go from boxing to anything else because boxing is like the pinnacle, right? If Jake Paul would say, like, tomorrow I'm gonna play like, I'm trying to play like for like the Celtics or something like that. Maybe you could, maybe you can't. We got the platform to say that,
right?
Or you could say, I'm trying to go play for the NFL next season.
Okay. Do you think he's a net positive to the sport?
Of course.
Okay.
He brought more attention. Like, they had one event here in Delaware like a while ago, like the Wallow Gilly thingy, and like a bunch of like randoms just went there and thought they could fight. None of them could fight.
Okay.
It was a circus.
All right.
Like people like, unfortunately, here's how times change, right?
Okay.
It's hilarious. Like, people used to watch kung fu movies like Jackie Chan, whatever, The Matrix, be like, yo, I could do that. Therefore, I know how to fight.
Yeah.
And niggas nowadays, you watching social media, like, watch people like boxing, like, I could do that. Nigga, no, you can't. You don't know how hard this shit is. Like, that's some superhuman shit you watch
I don't know
on TV.
if you've seen it,
but they're fighting.
They end up looking like the fights over in Street Beef. You ever seen those fights?
I can't even watch it. I've never watched a full Street Beef fight, bro. Like, I never will because it's just. I have nothing to learn from that. There's nothing to learn.
That's just like pure entertainment at that point.
Yeah, like it's pure. But even then, it's like, I mean, you might watch somebody just get knocked out, look stupid, but it's like, it's kind of the joke is. I mean, that point, the joke is on them, is also on me. It's like I wanted to do something better in my life than watching the scrub.
Yeah.
And I say I'm not a scrub, at least not as scrubby as that. To just get like well, if you were some Jimmy Joe random, you know, from Nebraska, fighting on Street Beef and you get knocked out cold on your face, well, I'm not surprised.
Yeah.
If you were Manny Pacquiao, I'll be very surprised. But that'll be mathematically impossible. If you were Francis Ngannou in Street Beef, you got knocked out, that'd be statistically impossible to get knocked out. But like you some random guy getting, you know, stiff boarded on Street Beefs. Or you some random nigga dumb enough to fight on Street Beef in the first place, so that's supposed to happen to you. So there's nothing remarkable about that. Like, there's nothing to learn from there.
Yeah. You brought up two things that kind of sparked the thought in my head. First thing, Manny Pacquiao. He recently announced that he's having a match again with Floyd Mayweather.
I'm pretty sure it's an exhibition.
Okay, yeah. So what do you think about that now?
There's a lot of things that go into that. Okay. One, both people want to keep their relevance high because, like, even, like, I'll call it beyond the grave syndrome. Okay. They're, like, still trying to keep their legacies relevant, and those are two remarkable fighters who are going to be really hard to duplicate no matter how good people get. Like Mayweather, for example.
He does so many exhibitions.
Like, exhibition, going to be exhibition because, like, they're not in their prime. So, like, Mayweather would not risk his perfect record on a fight well beyond his prime, even though he'll still have a higher chance of outputting Pacquiao all day. It's just, why would you
who do you think wins today, both outside of their prime?
Mayweather.
Mayweather still?
Yeah, he's a smarter fighter. He's a bigger fighter. He's a faster fighter. He's better timing. He'll stop like he's not going to get into a knockout scenario. He's too smart of a fighter.
He is.
And people, it goes deep. Okay, for example, it goes like this. Even though like people always think the knockout fighter is a stronger fighter, no. The better fighter never has someone by knockout. The inferior fighter is more prone to win by knockout because that's all you can do. Kind of like in the days of the Roman Empire when in the Colosseum, the inexperienced fighter, right, fighting against the champion because he got captured as a slave, fighting against the champion as the show. His only chance to beat that champion is to get in a lucky swing, cut off the guy's neck or stab him in the heart.
I see what you mean.
The experienced fighter can just easily disarm him and make him surrender, and then you know what I mean.
And that's the beauty of that. I do love, at least from the times I've seen Mayweather, is he's very slow. Like at first, like he studies you, and then he essentially plays you at your own game.
Why would you just come out guns blazing and call it something stupid? Like that's called fighting smart. Like people say, I'm just gonna come out and blitz him and da 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 da. Well, yeah. Like, all right. Well, if the Eagles sometimes you step on the gas, you get like a heavy lead. Yeah. But sometimes you just get intercepted or whatever. And
Right.
You know?
Yeah, so the other one I want to ask you about is that you brought up is Ngannou, right? Ngannou, when he fought Fury, shocked the world. What were your thoughts on that fight? It was a shock,
but not too much, and I was saying this before it happened because regardless of Ngannou lacking the boxing experience, he still has high-level combat experience, and on top of that, if you were to do a creative character, let's say like in Fight Night, whatever the case may be, Francis Ngannou still is maxed out in at least one stat, if not a couple, and that being power punching. Okay. So, and that would by definition make him a force of nature. Okay. All right. So it doesn't matter if I don't have the boxing experience. Let's say if I go into boxing right now and I already like max out on hand speed, or I'm the fastest boxer, even though I'm a kickboxer, I still have a stat that they got to fight against, which is the force of nature. Right. You know what I mean? Same thing with Ngannou. Like, even though he doesn't have the boxing pedigree and history as Tyson Fury, he still got to deal with that force of nature, which is like, okay, like let's say like, oh, you play against your brother and you got limited stats, but you got the experience to play the character well. Right. But he has this one character that got like, okay, if he hits you with one punch, and you're not perfect just for one move, and it drops you, then that's what the case is. I hear you. I hear what you're saying. Okay, interesting. So if they had to fight again, how do you think that would go? With Tyson Fury and Ngannou? Yeah. Because even Eddie Hearn has said that he thought he won the fight, Ngannou. I didn't see it live. I heard it live. Okay. But I can see why Tyson won because, like, outboxing the person and pacing them and scoring like this a jab here and there, that scores a lot of points. It's called boxing, not knockout. Okay. And Ngannou, regardless, still won the heart of the fans. And like fighting at the end of the day is about inspiring people. Like, you know what I mean? So like, at minimum, everybody could agree that Ngannou won the inspiring battle because he was the underdog. It's kind of like Rocky, where like you're not expected to knock down Apollo. Right. So he already won everybody's hearts. Right. At that point. I see. Yeah, that is very true. Everybody likes the underdog. That's why people root against Mayweather or whatever the case may be, or sometimes root against the Patriots. Because we love the underdog because we all see ourselves in the underdog trying to come up. Okay. You know what I mean? I hear you. There is that, but like extensively, I don't know if Ngannou, like, because Ngannou has the highest punching power stats among any fighter period throughout time. That includes like Mike Tyson wasn't a one punch knockout artist. Was not. He hit you with a bunch of combos. He was a small guy. Right. Ali was not a one punch knockout artist. Right. Foreman was a one punch knockout artist, but besides him, how many heavyweights can you name? Right. You see? True. So you got like him, Wilder, and Ngannou. That's not. Yeah. So, and the last thing I want to ask you in like the politics world of fighting, it's an article that I heard of recently. I read recently. So, USA Boxing says fighters who transition from male to female can compete in the female category. This is what's it called? An NBC article posted January 3rd. And so the conditions are essentially the fighter identifies as a female. This is the conditions. It says the boxer identifies as female and has completed gender reassignment surgery. What are your thoughts on that? That's bullshit. Those some bitch-ass niggas who are just scared to compete in the men's bracket and be great, and they're just trying to feel good about themselves dominating women the best they can because they ain't getting no cheeks anyway.
Okay. Okay. So I'm gonna guess you're not for it.
Of course, it's not for it.
Okay. Yeah.
Like
No.
you be like, let the women do what they do. Like
Yeah.
men and women should not be competing with each other.
I agree.
Like
I agree.
at all in different ways of life. There's gender roles for a reason.
Yeah.
There's gender roles for and
Right.
like we've threw off the natural balance in this American culture to a very large degree, just trying to make men and women like equal instead of equitable.
Okay.
You know, so like there's no point in that because like a woman
Yeah.
can't compete in us in that physical realm. It's just not what it,
Yeah.
I don't care what happens.
I forgot who it was exactly, but I recently saw a video that it was a professional female
Christian
boxer.
Shields.
Yeah, she was
She
sparring
got
against
mad
somebody.
skills, but as a man can like overpower all that.
She said that she could beat any man in the gym, and then I think someone stepped
Then
up
somebody-
in sparring and then
Because
knocked
they're
her
going
out.
easy on her, bro.
Okay.
She's a woman. They ain't
Yeah.
gonna crack her like
Yeah.
that. She's a woman, and we as men, like women live in a different reality we do. Like
Yeah.
we all have the natural instinct as men to make sure the woman doesn't like accidentally kill herself.
Yeah.
Like we just around to make sure that because she's pretty.
Right.
So like a woman doesn't understand how much danger she's in all the time because there's men are just naturally gonna protect her for being pretty. That's
Yeah.
just our instinct.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So like,
Oh, I hear you.
what do you have to gain for beating up a woman
Right.
in the gym, especially an attractive
Yeah.
one?
Yeah.
Like, what do you have to gain from blacking a woman's eye in the gym and busting a woman's nose
Yeah.
and cracking a woman's rib in the gym? She ain't built like a man. Like,
Right.
with, as far as I mean, she built better than most men, but
Right.
not compared to
Right.
professional fighters.
Right.
So, it's different. You know
Right.
what I mean? And I
Right.
respect her skill. Like, she's a two-time Olympic gold medalist, two-time undisputed like women's.
Yeah.
Shit, but like she's fighting in a group of women, so it's gonna be, of course, it'd be easier to do that as opposed to doing
And that's
that.
not taking anything away from her.
That's still hard to do,
Right,
of course.
right.
Of course, she had to work very hard, and I appreciate her for paving that way. And God will inspire other women to
Right.
go down that route as far as because like even women should know how to fight. That's
Yeah.
still honorable in that
Well,
and beneficial.
And that's one of the things that's going on in sports in general, right? A lot of the women want to get more, like, they want to go into it and say that, they could be this person, this man, or whatever the case.
Yeah.
But I think ultimately examples like that
They
happen,
can't. The women NBA
right?
can't do it. The
And I
soccer can't
think
do
it's
it.
self-harming to their sport itself because eventually, if we allow things like what USA Boxing is doing, where they allow a man go into female competitive sports, it's eventually
Circus.
man now controlling the male sport, but also now controlling the female sport.
Again, it's a bunch of. I mean, instead of just being a good fighter as a man, because being a good fighter will help you skip the line with women a lot of the time, and getting cheeks that way.
Yeah.
They can't do it and be a good enough fighter in the man sport, so they gotta like dominate women the best way they can, instead of like where it counts like in the bedroom. So that's just the bottom line. I'm sorry to say that truthfully accurately, but that's just the reality. That's the only that is what it is.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying the woman is like I'm a traditionalist, right? I believe that a woman should cook, clean, serve men, whatever case may be, but she should also. She needs hobbies. She can also apply. She can still aspire to be great
Right.
in any endeavor, but she also got to play by the right amount of rules. Like we don't
Okay.
need to be competing against each other.
Okay.
I mean, like there's certain things that we could do together, maybe like chess or something, where there's like no harm
Right.
to either side losing or winning.
Right. It becomes purely skill, right?
Yeah.
Because it's not like a physical thing.
Yes, exactly. Even like being a chef, where again men also like chess. Also dominate at the highest level of cooking
Right.
compared to women, even though women should be cooking at home.
Right.
But, so, but I'm like that.
I hear you.
So,
I
but
hear
like, it's like, look, it's like if you cut all the electricity off and whatever, and it'll say,
Right.
okay,
Yeah.
you either go hunt woman or you go gather some berries or some bananas. Which you gonna pick? Go hunt that deer? All right, I come back. We're gonna have all the berries picked or whatever.
Yeah.
And y'all go hunt the
Yeah.
don't come back until it's, and you gotta carry it back too.
Okay.
On your shoulders.
It makes sense though. It makes sense though, and it's nothing against it. It's just logically, the
Logic.
truth.
In this age of technology and cyborgs and digital reality, we still have these dumbass debates.
Okay.
Google exists, and we have these dumbass.
Okay. Yeah. No,
Like, think about that, man.
I
How
agree.
backwards this is.
I agree. So, all right, Brima, let's talk about your upcoming fight, February 3rd.
Oh yeah.
In New York. Tell us all about it.
Well, it's gonna be like
How's the camp going?
it's going spectacular. I'm doing very well on weight. I'm hungry right now. I can't go home and eat some spaghetti. I've been eating very good. I've been training very well. I've been doing a lot more weight training, so I should be hitting a lot harder than I've ever been in my entire career, and I get hit pretty hard before. I've been, already been very fast. I
Are you
got a
doing
bunch of new
anything
tricks.
differently? Are you doing anything differently from a regular training camp from
The
before?
biggest thing I'm doing is like definitely like more weight training than I normally have.
Okay.
With heavier weights. That's one thing for sure. And different kind of workouts. I definitely have more training partners available than I ever had in my career. I've been able to definitely help my students level up because I've been getting in the trenches with them and kind of fixing them manually.
Yeah.
And that's been good because, like, I guess as far as being a coach goes, I hate coaching from the sidelines. I struggle with that.
Okay.
I like being in the action. I don't like to be on the sidelines.
Okay.
But like, at least before I was a coach, and I felt as a much better fighter, I was even though I didn't see myself as like the leader. I kind of want to because I could at least lead by example. At least as far as the team goes, when it comes to whether it's combat sports or basketball or soccer, you want to be that person where people kind of pass the ball to when it's a game-winning shot.
They rely on you.
You know what I mean? So regardless of who you are on the team, like even if the Avengers, like Hawkeye, could still shoot to win the game.
True.
So, but they're probably gonna pass it to maybe like Thor, Iron Man, somebody like them. You know what I mean? And you want to be that at the end of the day.
True. So and all right. So where do you see this fight going?
Complete dominance on my end. Complete dominance. Complete other control and dominance.
What are you calling? KO? What are you calling? You going the full fight?
I mean, I can knock him out, but I kind of don't want to because I haven't fought in a while. I want to get some rounds under my belt. A good example of this is, for example, Mayweather fought Juan Manuel Marquez.
Okay.
Marquez hit him with like this one punch, and then Mayweather immediately responded and knocked him down.
Okay. Was Marquez was that the fight where he kept headbutting him?
Nah. No, that was Ortiz. That's
Ortiz.
another example.
Okay.
He headbutted him. Mayweather got mad, knocked him out right after.
Yeah. Okay.
Right? Because Mayweather was gonna play with him until he started cheating.
I see. How many rounds are you going? I mean,
there's only gonna be 3 rounds. I wanted 5. Rounds? They didn't want 5.
Okay.
So, but I'd rather have 5 just so I could put on that much longer of a show because after that fight, unfortunately, I gotta go back to some degree living a regular life.
Okay.
So I'd rather enjoy the fight as long as I can.
Yeah.
And not get over it because I am a fighter and I want to fight.
So you're gonna play the main quest, and then you're gonna go into side missions.
Pretty much. So I'm just gonna make an example out of him.
There you go.
As best I can exhibit my style because that's what I want to do. But if that calls that I have to knock him out, then I will. But I don't need to knock him out because I'm the better fighter. Yeah. I don't have to. I could do what I want as I want, and that's what I want to show. Is
there anyone you're gonna have in back of mind when you're going through this fight? Are you dedicating this fight to anybody?
Well, I gotta dedicate these to my wives out there. My wife, Brima Kamara, and a couple others. You know what I mean? Who've been supporting me, and I appreciate y'all. You know what I mean? A lot of to be honest, having purpose helps you get over, I guess, anxiety and fear when you fight, and also like prayer, because as a Muslim, you should fear God, and fighting is a good way to test that. You know what I mean? Because what's been decreed is going to happen. It's going to test your resolve after that. So we pray to God, and and you accept the fact like I want to fight. Yeah, this is what I want to do, and I tied my camel, and now it's for God to do His job. I'm gonna put my best foot forward. That's another thing, and then 2. One of the ways I got the name The Beautiful Black Man was for the ladies. So the ladies love watching me fight. I got put on for ladies. So I'm wearing a pretty a royal purple robe and warrior outfit for my next fight.
Love it.
King outfit.
Okay.
For the ladies, and I'm
gonna put on the show.
My favorite color, yeah. So I got to dedicate to them.
Of course.
But, and it also helps. I'm not gonna cap. Sometimes I'll fight running 5 miles every day. I get into that 3rd, 4th, 5th mile, and I was like, I gotta do it for. About my ladies.
There you go.
They're rooting for me.
There you go. I hear that. All right, Brima. Any words for your opponent?
I have none.
No words.
No words. I got nothing to say to him.
Okay. All right. Well, Brima, thank you so much for allowing us to your gym again to record another episode of the EP podcast. It's been an honor. We will be there on the sidelines to watch you fight. We wish you the best, and we hope to see you very soon, even after the fact.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it, man. It's an honor as well.
Where can we find you?
Brimezus is almost everywhere.
Okay.
BRIMEZUS. Instagram, YouTube, any other platform probably. Brima Kamara. If you Google me.
I know, and also I don't want to forget to bring up the fight we're watching live. Is that fight being streamed?
Yes, it is. I don't have the link information, but I'm sure you can find it on the Gut Check Championship website. You can buy tickets there as well.
Okay.
You can get tickets from me. You can get tickets from my secretary. Shout out to my secretary. She's so lovely. I love her.
All right. Well, ladies and gentlemen, it's been Brima. We wish him the best in his fight. Quite the gentleman, man of many talents. Thank you so much for giving us your time.
You're very welcome, sir. Thank you as well.
Thank you. And ladies and gentlemen, if you haven't already, please like, comment, subscribe, turn on that notification bell so we can have many more guests like Brima on the show. All right. Bye-bye.